My final documentary production uses and challenges conventions used in real media products. Changing Ways is based on how men have changed over generations, and the footage used is showing evidence for this. At the beginning, I used a comedic effect to try and attract the audience to watch my documentary. When planning and researching, I found that most of the documentaries use individual conventions, such as camera angles and editing effects. Documentaries based around real-life scenarios and real footage is normally used, and when looking at my documentary, it is evident that is what I've used. When filming the footage, I found it hard to use the proper conventions as the video camera I used was not industry standard. There is a natural flow about my documentary, as there is not a script used except for the narration. There are varied types of camera angles used throughout the documentary, such as high angle, medium shots and close-up shots. There is also a voiceover used to narrate what my documentary is about, so it reflects a normal documentary style. I have also used transitions to smooth out the flow of the footage and to link the separate shots rather than it being quite random. My documentary's main target audience would vary. It could appeal to teenagers, middle ages and the elderly. This is because in the 5-minute clip, 2 different generations are showing their point of video.
Close to the younger generations. Yeah. Let's take a look inside.
This is because in the 5-minute clip, 2 generations are showing their point of society. No.
Moving over to BHS. Look at the difference.
This is because in the 5-minute clip, 2 different generations are showing their point of view on society and how it is now and how it was when they were younger. The mode of this documentary is quite informal, as the interviews used are quite casual. The narration / voiceover is quite informal. I've done this on purpose because the audience will find it much easier to relate to. My documentary does not create any questions for the audience. I try to find out people's opinions on how men have changed and investigate what has changed within the fashion and media industry. I also focus on the development of men from one generation to another by using 2 informal interviews. Also, to not show bias, there are 2 views which are showing during the documentary footage.
What's wrong with me loving another man? It's just wrong, is it? It's just, you shouldn't be allowed it.
I try to attract my audience by creating 2 ancillary tasks relating with my final documentary. One being a newspaper advertisement with pictures of people featured, and a radio trailer telling when the programme is going to be shown and a few clips included. This, however, still keeps the audience wanting to watch the documentary because it is not giving too much information away. I've tried hard to link all my tasks together by using the same images and locations used in my footage. However, I find it hard to link my radio trailer in with the documentary and advertisement. I have used 2 types of audience feedback, one being a questionnaire before the production and a small audience watching the final product. I had a clear image of what I wanted to produce when planning, and I feel that I have attempted to achieve it in a different way, even though it has not turned out exact. When showing my documentary to a new audience, their feedback was quite varied. They found the structure of my footage not so much as a documentary but as an interview. Others said that the clip I have shown them used the conventions of existing documentaries such as first-hand footage. The feedback made me feel as if I should have done some things differently. Firstly, I would plan a lot more. This would mean that I could use my time more efficiently to produce an overall better product. As well as this, I would spend more time editing and recording to make it relate much better to a documentary and make it look like a high quality production.
Many people have tried being town before.
At I2 Media Studies, there have been many new technologies that I've had to use. One of them being Bloggerbox, where I've made my blog where I've stored all of my computer-based work, such as production logs, research and my final productions. I've also had to use Mac iMovie. I found this quite difficult at first, but after a few attempts I got used to it. This is where I had to edit my documentary and edit bits out that I did not want to use. I also had to use transitions, camera angles and different effects to try and get the proper effect of a documentary. When designing my newspaper advertisement, I had to use Photoshop along with Publisher. I had to use this piece of equipment that I'd never used before, industry standard recording equipment as well as a program, Audacity, to edit my radio trailer. However, the music that I used in my radio trailer is not suitable, as I found it difficult to find a non-copyright track that will best suit the topic of my documentary. Using the new equipment in my foundation portfolio prepared me well for the advanced.